It has been over 2 years, and Lilia is still the queen. With all the new heroes, why a season 1 hero unit is still topping the charts. Let's break down AoE damage importance, burn synergy, hero design mistakes, and what mage players actually want. And I'm going to start with this. Back in the days, we was thinking that the mage heroes was AoE heroes, because we have a Valiant that is doing AoE damage, we have Lilia that is doing AoE damage, we have Waldir that is doing AoE damage, and we have Elwyn and Atius. Now, Elwyn and Atius, we was thinking, okay, those bad boys, I don't think, the game should put some heroes that nobody want to use, but to have a viewers, when you watch some anime from time to time, the anime brings some viewers there that you don't want to watch that much, but after all, they're there. So I was thinking Ewi and Atius was this case. Maybe Atius was having one idea more important job because of the A of Insight. Launching a normal attack has 20% chance to get 60 rage, and 20% by looking the talents, that is only giving you something like 10% chance to get 50 rage. That was absolutely crazy. So I was thinking maybe this is the role of Atius. Edwin was there just to sit sad, and that's all. So I was thinking, and the majority of the players was thinking that the mages was AoE heroes. Till the season 2 mages hit and we get Bertrand and Tohar, that both of them are single target. After this we get Talea and Thunderlin, which one is a AoE hero, the other one is a single hero. In the same time, we start seeing some heroes that from the other troops that was not we was not thinking that they're going to do AoE damage, and they start getting some AoE damage. And I'm saying, for example, Li Kuan, for example, also Falgrim, for example, we have Urak, also, for example, we start seeing some AoE damage dealers, but still, this is, little history back in the days, but still, after so many seasons, I really hope the Generation 4 mages that is going to be presenting our dragons, and they're the next one, right now we have the infantry one that is breaking the meta. Li Kuan and Kuma is breaking the meta with this draining pool Kuma is doing, and the damage Li Kuan is doing, and the synergy with the HP and the pets that is presented for them. They're breaking the things, they're breaking everything. But I'm expecting Generation 4 mages to be one idea more better, or at least please, Call of Dragons, make Generation 4 mages better, so I don't have to make a video where I share that the Lilia is still top mage after 2 years playing Call of Dragons. So I'm going to start with the most obvious reason, and this is always beating single target for mages. Now, mages are not like marksman. Marksman, you can afford to go for the single target because you're going to hit like a truck. Okay, Magrat is hitting like a truck. On top of that, there is so many things that is going to boost the normal attack, and the game is going in this direction. Now, imagine this thing to be AoE, hitting the Legion and 3 around. Even with the diffused damage, this thing is still going to hit like a truck. So mages are not counting on the normal attack, because just by default the mages are on second place on attack on the third place by attacking Call of Dragons. First place is going to be marksman, second cavalry, third place is mages, and finally we have the infantry. Now I don't count donkeys, okay, they maybe have brave souls, but donkeys is donkeys. So yeah, mages are going to count on their rage skill, and having AoE, oh my god, having AoE damage over this these spells is just a game changer. Even though the damage can be diffused, okay, this is diffused damage, taking like 15%. If you hit like 2 targets, the damage is going to get reduced. It's also applying over some of the artifacts that we're having. For example, Phoenix Eye is also having diffused damage. I mean, even with diffused damage, AoE is still going to bring a lot of merits. Now, it strongly depends against who you're playing, because the majority of the players start understanding that and they start splitting their units. You're not going to see like 10 infantry legions on one place. Some are going to try to sneak on the top or from the bottom to actually catch your mages or and marksmen. Some is going to be sitting in the front lines. At best, you can catch like 2-3 legions, but I think this is fairly enough for Lilia. Now, if you're like Warrior hitting like 4 legions, because Warrior is the only hero hitting like 4 legion with no diffused damage. I mean, I want to point that for me, Warrior is the best PvP epic hero in Call of Dragons. But yeah, AoE, if you catch the mage bow and nobody's attacking you, you're going to do crazy amount of damage with Lilia. But that's not all. Scorch plus Infernal Flame is the peak synergy. This is what come to a lot of people mind, and obviously this is what I was thinking back in the days. But this artifact is giving Magic Keen, which is 15% magic attack for 5 seconds when you fix Scorch. But here is the thing: 5 seconds on artifact that have like 1 minute and 30 seconds cooldown is absolutely nothing. I mean, it may make a little difference, but it's not going to be a game-changing difference, okay? You're not going to jump from 20k to 30k or 50k. It is going to be small amount of merits, but it's still in help. It's still in help, especially for Lilia, and specifically for this hero. I'm talking about the artifact because this artifact is designed for her. I mean, you can obviously use it with the other mages, but yeah, still 15 magic keen for 5 seconds is not that much. It's just not that much. Now there is another artifact that is designed for a specific hero, and maybe I can give an example. This is Lunaris, deal diffused damage, blah blah blah. Additional effect, Legion get haste when in camouflage. Now there is just a single hero that's having camouflage, okay? Now I'm not quite sure this actually applied to Quack of Stealth, but you're entering actually in stealth, and you cannot have two artifacts in the same time. So obviously this artifact is just built for one hero, and this is I think it was named Naya, and Naya is basically giving this camouflage. I mean, there is things that is built for specific hero, and by build it for specific hero is just more stronger. You have one. I'm going to make a comparison between even factions that we have in King of Dragons. You have Spring Warden, that is a general giving elixirs and march speed for everybody. They're not specified for physical attack, for example, like the Wilderberg is having, which is boosting the marksmen and cavalry, or defense, magical defense, and celestials like League of Order. So you see, this is a two general fraction, and nobody's playing with this fraction. Back in the days, people was playing with Eagles, but slowly the people understand that the Eagles cannot do crazy stuffs. I mean, the ground cavalry is outperforming the Eagles, period. So it's the same with the artifacts. If you have something for specific hero as artifact, just going to give you one idea better bonuses. And that's why I think the synergy for Lilia, or at least from point of artifacts for Lilia, is way better compared to majority of the heroes in Call of Dragons, and is the only mage hero in Call of Dragons that have a specific artifact for it. Okay. Now I want to talk about the latest mages and how they are lost the identity, or I don't know the right word. They're just not doing damage. They're just not doing damage. We have from Lilia, we have Bertrand and Tocher. That's a single target. Now these bad boys can do pretty decent damage. Okay, I have them awakened and 6 stars, so ready to go. But still, compared to Lilia Velen, they just cannot actually match. Now for fights where The enemies are too spreaded. By enemy I mean enemy infantry. They're going to perform better from Lilia Velen, okay? Since Lilia Velen strongly count over the AoE damage, because by default Bertrand Awakened is doing like 1.5k. Lilia even Awakened is going to be 1.2. So if both these heroes are hitting the same target, Bertrand is going to do more damage. On top of that, Tocher is also great booster. On top of that, Velen is very good booster also. But yeah, just Bertrand Tocher from point of doing damage in the right condition, because you need right condition for Lilia and Velen. They're going to be just outperformed very hard. They're just not going to do the damage like Lilia and Velen. From there we come with Thunderlin with Talea. Now poor Talea, poor sheep. Oh my god. None of the community in Car of Dragons actually like this hero, okay? No one. There is no existing human creature that say, hey, this hero may be a good one. Even though she was in the strongest sword, and the majority of the cases, in the strongest sword is the more strong hero from the two new presented in the game. One is going to be in the Wookiee Spin, one is going to be in the strongest sword. And Talea was in the strongest sword, and I asked myself what she is doing there. It should be other way around, Thunderlin to be there, just because people really love Thunderlin. It's a AoE damage dealer, obviously, from the spell, but Talea is not even giving that crazy amount of damage. It's 1.6. Now, when she's awakened, has 10% chance to get the shield, which Thunderlin is going to boost because it's giving 20% more shields of the Legion. And this is the Awakening, which I really like this Awakening, because the majority of the time the Awakening is something to boost the rage skill, and here we are getting something in extra, more survivability. This is something that I really like in the Talea. Not like Thunderlin. Thunderlin Awakening is just going to give 450 to 500, and that's all. 45%, the rest is absolutely the same. I mean, it's not something crazy, but still, those mages are not doing crazy amount of damage compared to what we was expecting as some mage main players by having Lilia Velen in the season 1. We was expecting something crazy, and the new heroes is either below Lilia Velen or at same level. In same time, from point of marksman, Syndra Fargar outperforming Niku Kinara for sure. Margaret Zeta outperforming Syndra Fargar for sure. Now for the new heroes, for the new marksmans, the tier 4, I cannot actually say that much, but majority of the people say they're also good. But still, we're having this power creep in the marksmans, but we're not having it with the mages. Now some people start using Bahorn, but this is overall hero. Some people are starting using Mutea. It's also a lot of guides there with Musiank and Talea, but this is not mages. I mean, we're having mage heroes. If the overall heroes is better from your mage heroes, a heroes that is specialized excel leading all unit types is outperforming your specific type troop type hero. That means there is something wrong. I mean, there is something wrong, because mages are just boosting the magic damage. The only troop that's having magic damage is mages. So if an overall hero outperform your mage hero, that means just the mage heroes are very weak. Now what I am expecting from new generation mages, I'm expecting AoE damage. First of all, hard hitting AoE damage with Li Kuan and Kuma. On top of that, Goresh Kogo. This is a game changing legions for the infantry. At the same time, we have all the heroes that is for Cavalry's Rage Regeneration hitting like a truck with AoE damage dealing artifacts. We have Marksmans that still Margaret Zeta is on top of the food chain. I mean, imagine a mage hero, mage main player to go and buy Marksmans so they can do more damage with their mages. I mean, this is crazy, and it should not be like this thing. So I'm expecting the new mages to be game changing or very game changing, because yeah, you're starting with the mages at the beginning playing Cow Dragons. Obviously, like 80-90% from the people start, including me, we start with the mages, but just the changes in the other heroes through the seasons. At one point, you're sitting with mages and do nothing. Obviously, I'm still going to suggest for free to play players going with mages, just because they're hitting for a safe distance, and this leave less windows somehow you get catch it or surprise it. But in the same time, to get 100k merits, you have to sit like 30-40 minutes. Okay, not that many, but you have to just put way more time and effort to achieve that as a mage main. Is it still worth investing in Lilia over the newer mages? Yes, Lilia is maybe one of the heroes that is the most easy one to be awakened. I think I make a video about her. Still till this day, I think she's some. If you spend something in the game and you want to play mages, maybe save like 3-4 months and get the Lilia from this, just to make some heroes like 5-1-1-1 or 5-2-3-1 or something like this. It just some heroes are very good, and Lilia is one of them. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit one like. Also share your opinion in the comments below, especially if you're mage main. If you're mage main, share your comments in the comments below. Wish you a great day and see you in the next video.